Hi guys, and welcome to another Drum Dog lesson. Now today we're going to be dealing with some real mind-bending time stuff, working with the click, developing our rhythmic relationship, as well as being able to manipulate beats and rehear where certain beats go. Now, the first time this kind of area of rhythm sprung its head to me was when I heard a musical phrase that a fellow bandmate had written this guitar riff, and he played it, and I thought, yeah, that's a really cool riff, and I started playing a beat, and he turns around and goes to me, whoa, what are you doing? Like, that's completely wrong. And I'd heard beat one in completely the wrong place for where he'd heard beat one. Now, this is a really interesting little thing that can happen in music, and that's when you've got a little musical phrase without any rhythmic reference or any drum beats on it. And you can hear beat one in the wrong place within that. But once you've heard that there, it can be so difficult to then hear it again in the right place. Now, a perfect example of this would be the song Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. Now, this one's a real pig because it starts with a little guitar riff that starts on 4 and. Now, most drummers will latch onto that 4 and to beat one, and then their beat one is 1/8 note behind where the actual beat one is. Now today we're going to look at some really cool exercises that are going to develop your sense of time and the ability to rehear beats in different places. Now every single exercise in this lesson is going to use a metronome in 4/4 at 87 BPM. That's it. But we're going to go through all sorts of different ways to rehear that click as a different musical phrase. Now the first way we're going to manipulate this click here is the exact same way as Sex on Fire, and we're going to rehear the metronome on all of the 8th note offbeats. So instead of the click now being 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to rehear it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this first exercise can be a real killer if you've never done anything like this before, because we're so ingrained to have that metronome dead on every single quarter note. To try and take it off of it seems so alien, and the second you start playing you just shift it back to being on the main notes. But slow it down, take your time with this, and I find with this particular exercise it can help if you imagine the metronome as an offbeat guitar in a reggae tune. Now with this first one and every exercise in this lesson, we're going to kick off by playing a simple rock beat over that time, hearing the click in its new position. And after we're really settled in with that time and we're happy that we're sat in that new pocket, start improvising just a little bit. Just push yourself outside of your comfort zone and try out different ideas, still while relaxing in that time and focusing on that click being on the new beat. Now this really can be tricky, so really take your time with that first exercise and make sure you're 100% happy before moving on to the next ones. Because next we're really going to ramp up the difficulty by pushing that metronome to a 16th offbeat. Now we're going to take it on to the last 16th of each quarter note, and we're going to have it on the So now we're going to be hearing the click like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to the same thing on the first 16th note offbeat, we're going to be hearing 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. Now again, really take your time with those two 16th offbeat exercises because they are so much harder. As we're playing that 8th note rock beat, those clicks are falling in between the hi-hats, and really make sure they're falling dead in the middle and dead on those offbeats. So once you've got the hang of that, another way we can manipulate this and rehear it again is to take it into a shuffle or triplet feel. So now we're going to hear the click on the last portion of every triplet, which would also be the skip note if you were playing a shuffle. So we're going to hear it like this now. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Same thing as before, let's play a few bars of simple shuffle time and then start to stretch out a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, the next option with triplets is to catch it on the second portion of the triplet. Now this one's a real killer because especially in a shuffle feel, it's the note that goes unplayed a lot of the time, and it can be really difficult for us to musically connect with that middle portion there. So we're going to be hearing this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Take your time with this, guys, a real killer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now all of these exercises are so helpful for developing your internal clock as well as your ability to rehear phrases with the beat one in a different place, as well as staying relaxed on your pocket and time through some more complicated rhythmic phrases. Now let me leave you with this final thought here, is that instead of just shifting the click in the same tempo onto a different beat, what if we hear the click as a phrase that goes over the bar line? So for this last one, we're going to rehear the click as a hemiola pattern, also known as a dotted 8th note and also heard as a 3/4 polyrhythm. Now this creates a serious challenge because it takes 3 bars of the click's time to meet our beat 1 again. Now unlike the others, this is going to sound like a completely different tempo because really it is an implied metric modulation, but let's not worry about that too much. It's going to sound like this. Now I personally find that last one heaps of fun, and I find it's interesting to have the click kind of inspire different rhythmic ideas in your playing because of where it sits in the bar. Now I hope you enjoy these exercises and go real slow with them. Take your time with each one, settle into that groove. This can be a seriously challenging topic, but a topic that for me is really exciting and can open up some great rhythmic possibilities in actual musical phrases and tracks themselves. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you for the next one.